Hi, welcome back. So before I start with the topic of today's video, let me say that I'm really grateful to all of you that have supported this channel so far. We recently made it to 1,000 subscribers, and this is something that of course incentivizes me to continue making videos, to continue spreading around a message of critical economic thinking, of critical philosophical thinking, that I think it's really important, and that I see a lot of people getting on board with. And I really cannot express how grateful I am for the support that this project has been receiving for the past year, 2 years, about 2 years. And I will be doing a stream to celebrate it, so stay tuned for that. I will be making the details available because this stream is going to occur sometime soon. So with that being said, let's start with the topic of today's video, which is to introduce a series of videos that I'm going to be making on the mathematical foundations for a proper understanding of classical political economy. Now, ever since I started making videos in YouTube, I heard people asking me if I could discuss, if I could explain a little bit of the mathematical tools and the formalisms that basically are employed in the formalization of classical economic theories and also in their empirical testing. Now, of course, this is something that I think it's really important, which is why I'm starting this series. And I basically want to make this series for one fundamental reason, which is to show that neoclassical economics is not the only school of economics that employs high-level mathematical formalisms in their theories. Now, of course, these videos, I'm not going to be getting into too much detail on very specific things, on very highly complex mathematical tools. I want to basically lay out, let's say a sort of ground that from which everyone can, regardless of their background in mathematics, can, let's say, solidify an understanding of mathematics that will allow them to at least, from a very basic standpoint, work with the theories and be able to defend them in case they are debating these theories, or in case they want to do for their school project or for research purposes or whatever, some kind of analysis of a theory and they want to employ mathematical formalism. So this is basically going to be more or less the purpose of this video series. It's going to be to solidify a basis from which we can, from a very basic standpoint, analyze more complex theories, okay? Because of course, in order to build a house, you need to start from the ground. You cannot start from the roof. So I'm going to be laying this groundwork in this video series. But of course, the topics that I'm going to cover are not, the easiest topics out there in mathematics. Some are going to be more easy. Some are going to be easier. Some are going to be more complex. But they will lay out what I think it's going to be a basic toolkit that you can use in your study of economics and that you can use in your study of classical political economy. Now, of course, the tools that I'm going to be using are also applied to neoclassical economics and to other schools of economics, like the Keynesian school. So this is going to be basically focused on classical political economy, but no, the tools are used pretty much everywhere, although the basic theories, the intuition behind the usage of mathematical tools differ between different schools. So having said this, let me say that this video series is going to basically be composed of three main parts. One part is going to be dedicated towards studying algebra and some basic algebra, and then linear algebra, where I'm going to be using more matrix algebra, where I'm going to be using more vectors, and we're going to be looking at systems of equations, how you can solve them basically using some basic tools, and then how you can solve them using matrices and so on and so forth. Then once we move from algebra, we will be moving to calculus. We will be talking about limits, we will be talking about derivatives, we will be doing a little bit of integration as well. And once we've laid out the groundwork for calculus and linear algebra, I'm also going to be moving to some probability and statistics that of course are crucial to the empirical testing of the theories in the classical tradition of economic thinking. And from that basic, let's say, framework of probability and statistics, I'm also going to be discussing a little bit of econometrics. No, I'm not going to go into too much depth. Maybe in the future I will, but I will be showing a little bit of what linear regression looks like, of what its purpose is, and how you can, in very simple terms, do it. Because again, the target audience, so the audience that I'm targeting with this video series, is obviously not going to be PhD level mathematicians. I'm going to be targeting people that want to have some basic tools, some basic mathematical tools that they can use in their research, in their defense, or in their, let's say, basic understanding of classical political economy. Now, maybe in the future I will be doing higher levels so that I can explain more detailed things. But I believe that we all need to start from somewhere, and I think that this series is going to be good for doing just that. For getting started, and for also getting some insight. Some good insight into these topics, so that you can actually use it yourself, and you can actually feel like you have a good understanding of what it is that you're defending, what it is that you're doing, and what it is that I do in my videos as well, because a lot of the videos that I'm going to be doing in the future, and some of the videos that I've already done, rely on an understanding of certain mathematical tools, because economics is in general a science that is quantitative in its nature. Economics deals with quantities, it deals with the relationships that different quantities have, and of course, you cannot really understand economics properly without having some basic, at least some very basic mathematical tools. So this is more or less what I have in mind, the project that I have in mind. So the first video, I'm going to be covering equations. I'm going to be covering a little bit about functions as well. I'm going to be, discussing some very basic things. But, I'm going to be, again, focusing a lot on how you can apply this to economics. So I don't just want to talk about the mathematical formalisms in an abstract sense. I want to show you how they could be applied to economic research. So with that being said, this is basically going to be the project from now on. So again, I'm going to be starting with a couple of videos. I'm going to see how it works, and if I see that it is they are well received, and if I see that people find them interesting, I will certainly continue with the series. So this is basically it. This is basically the basic introduction to what I'm going to be doing. Hopefully you will enjoy this series. Hopefully you will find it interesting, and hopefully I will be able to help you with understanding these things, because I really don't see anyone trying to teach the basic theories, and also the more technical mathematical formalisms that go behind the classical theories and the Marxist theories insofar as economics is concerned. And I really want to fill in this gap that I see in YouTube, and hopefully it will be well received. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.